which got postponed. And then we also got your favorite, the Packers versus the Falcons in Lambeau.
Oh yeah, that's how I feel when you say that. Monday Night Football, baby. No, I'm excited, man. We're banged up a little bit, which we'll talk about, but we got two games tonight. We got blessed.
Sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry. That was loud. I gotta get this posted up so I can comment if people comment. Sorry. It was just loud as crap.
You good? Go ahead, rock it.
All right, so going into this week, it was another pretty good week with pick-wise. Cheetah did get one more up on the cheese this week, which is awesome. But regardless, we went over 500, which is always good because you never know what happens in the league. First game we're going to start out with talking about is the Jaguars versus the Bengals. Go ahead and take that one away because I know you love Joe Burrow.
I don't love the damn – I don't love the dude, but, I've already gave him multiple chances when it came to my picks, and they've messed me up twice and then gave me a tie. So they haven't helped me in any scenario in any 3 weeks. I picked them twice, they lost. Didn't pick them, and then they tied. So that messes me up. And then they want to mess around and beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I missed that one because I went with the Jaguars because I told you I was done picking Cincinnati. So that really pissed me off. Minshew threw for 351 yards, 2 touchdowns, the interception. That helped. An interception that helped kind of swing the game later on. He was only 27 for 40. The difference is, though, they had James Robinson running 75 yards off of 17 carries. But then you look at the Bengals, Joe Mixon ran for 51 yards with 25 touches, and Joe Burrow was 25 for 36, 300 yards with a passing touchdown. I mean, I think that's the difference of it right there, the way that they kind of balance yourself offensively, and especially if you look at the stats. And, Joe Burrow – I think Joe Burrow outplayed Minshew a little bit yesterday, and that running game that they established was just Jacksonville couldn't stop it. Mixon went off. But, yeah, man, I missed that one. Cincinnati's that conference with Cincinnati and all them, I mean, I don't know. They're stepping it up just a little bit. They're going to struggle, but.
Yeah, I still think they'll finish last in that division just because the Browns did what they did, and then you got the Ravens and the Steelers, which are top-tier teams. So – them beating the Jacksonville was good for that organization. I'm going to say that Minshew actually outperformed Burrow, stat-wise, but Burrow had that running game, and, having to establish a running game like that always helps. And that Jacksonville, man, I don't know. Their defense is just awful. Their offense is very average. They surprised a lot of people playing the Colts, how they did in week 1, but now they're just falling to the teams that they should be winning against. So I'm not too much fond of the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. Bengals, on the other hand, they still have a bad defense, and they ended up pulling it out right there with Joe Mixon.
They're trying,
Yeah. Needless to say, we lost that one. We both picked the Jaguars, and the Bengals ended up winning. It is what it is. 0 for 1 for the day. Then we get to another 0 for 2 pick with the Browns and the Cowboys.
Oh,
that was an absolute blowout. And the Cowboys ended up getting some chunk yards. I think Dak threw over for 500 yards, but he had to play catch-up almost like every single week, it feels like. I did say that the Cowboys secondary were very suspicious, and Odell went off. We had Jarvis go off. Jarvis actually threw a touchdown pass to Odell in the very beginning. They pulled some trickery out and then caught Dallas by surprise, honestly. So Cleveland doesn't look too bad. Their defense, Myles Garrett, he's a sack machine. He stepped up in the run game, and that was one of the ones I was pretty iffy about, and ended up going down the Browns. And now Cowgirls have to say they lost to the Brownies, baby, which is always good.
And it's crazy because, like you said, Prescott threw for 502 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception, man, 41 for 58, which was not, awful. Ezekiel Elliott only ran for 54 yards. They only fed him 12 times. He's got that tattoo that says, feed me and stuff like that, but he keeps turning the ball over. So I don't think they're going to keep feeding him if he keeps turning the ball over. But, I mean, and then you look at Baker Mayfield only throwing for 165 yards with 2 touchdowns, but they really didn't have to. I mean, right now Dallas is in a bad situation because they're making Dak Prescott have to try and play a perfect game almost as a quarterback, and put up these crazy numbers that to then still lose. You know, I mean, Johnson running for the Cleveland Browns, rushing for 95 yards, averaging 7.3 yards a carry with 13 of them. And like you said, Odell did go off with 5 receptions for 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But they just –
He also had a rushing touchdown for like 70 yards.
Because of the two teams just being as inconsistent as they are. You never kind of know what you're going to get, you know. And they both look really good on paper too. But, yeah, man, I don't know.
All I can say is the Cowboys' defense is terrible. Brandon Reyes commented, he said he thinks Mike McCarthy is just being a horrible head coach. That could play into it. You know, he took a year or 2 off just because he got fired from Green Bay or whatever.
He's not that much of a defensive coach, though. He's an offensive coach, and right now their offense is putting up crazy-ass records right now. Someone who's controlling that defense is the one, or who they have for defense.
They gave away the best corner, and, you know, things go downhill with that. They had big injuries on the D-line. But the big play that stands out to me for the Cowboys was the ending of the comeback is Amari Cooper goes in there and half-asses a route. Dak Prescott's looking at him basically the whole way, and then he throws a pick right there on the 5-yard line. Amari Cooper, definitely his fault. He's just, I don't know what he was doing. He just literally was jogging off the line like on a slant, and then he saw a little linebacker come over. Dak was already predetermined, that's what I'm throwing to because my guy's going to go make a play, and then it ends up you can't trust Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb had a really great game as a rookie. So we'll get to those. This week we're actually going to go review some of the questions that we've asked and see how it's panning out. You know, but that one's bad for the Cowboys, and I don't know if they recover from that. They are looking bad. They might win against the Giants.
It's just we'll move on to this. I mean, it's just the defense right now, man, because, I mean, the offense and Dak Prescott is putting up hella numbers, dude, and they got people they can spread the ball to all over the place. So I don't know what it's going to take for them to click it, but, yeah, that's crazy.
So we started out the day 0-2 with those 2 picks, and then we started catching some fire. The Saints versus the Lions. It came out. The Lions come and put 14 on them. Saints I was
scared, dude. I was scared.
Their starting corners were out. You know, Michael Thomas is still out. Drew Brees is begging for weapons, basically. Kamara ended up, I think he was a little bit hurt and banged up, but Latavius Murray actually took over that running game, which was nice to see, a 2-man combo or a 2-punch combo. Ended up coming back, holding them off. You know, Drew Brees played outstanding, and he's behind Tom Brady right now 3 because Tom Brady threw 5 touchdown passes this week, and he only threw 2.
Well, you know, Drew Brees and Matthew Stafford both had a interception. I think the times that it happened was definitely a big part of the swing of that game for sure. Lions came out pretty strong. I was pretty nervous for a second though, but you know, Alvin Kamara still did what he had to do before he got kind of tweaked with 83 yards rushing, and then Murray coming in with 64 yards rushing behind him, almost splitting the difference of carries. And Matthew Stafford, I don't know, dude. Matthew Stafford can always try to put up numbers and stuff like that, but it seems like he cannot win, with the damn Lions. Adrian Peterson, 11 carries, 36 yards, man. Come on. Just go home, AP. Go home. It's okay. But, yeah, and then they're not spreading the ball out at all. The most receptions they got were 4 receptions for 62 yards, and that was Galladay. So they're spreading the ball right now, trying to get it to whoever they can get it to. Lions are struggling right now, but Saints are holding on. They are holding on for what they have. But
they need to because Carolina's 2-2, baby.
I know.
Get to that one.
It's great.
So that one kind of, it was a close game and stuff like that. And the Lions should probably have ended up winning that, but the Saints have some magic coming in. They hold them off. We ended up winning that one, so we're 1-2. Then we get to the Seahawks and the Dolphins, which I told you guys not to sleep on them Dolphins, dude. They played pretty well almost the entire game, and then Russell Wilson magic, and then they end up turning the ball over at the end. They only win by a touchdown, so Dolphins are a little bit sneaky. Seahawks are still putting it down.
Oh my God.
What?
It's that same crap. You don't know what you're going to get out of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He throws 315 yards, but those for 2 interceptions.
Yep.
No touchdowns. And then like the week before that, he throws crazy. I don't know, man. Like they just need to find something extremely solid or at least consistent enough. Like most of these teams are getting out of quarterback play to actually turn the table and do good. And Ryan Fitzpatrick also led the yards in rushing with 6 carries for 47 yards, and the next thing they had to that was Gaskin with 10 carries for 40 yards. So you might want to establish a running game if Ryan Fitzpatrick is leading in rushing.
Yeah, and we already mentioned that in the previous episode how slow he was. So
He led in rushing, man. But just to cap it off real quick, you can't take Russell Wilson out, man. That dude's a freaking beast. Carson will always do enough that he needs to do to help with the run game. And DK Metcalf had 4 receptions for 106 yards. So
that's his third game over 100 yards.
That's the difference. And I got him on fantasy. Let's go.
Yeah. So Seahawks ended up winning that one, which we all thought. They did cover the spread as well, so that's always good. Next game we're going to talk about was the Bucs and the Chargers, and holy cow, Justin Herbert came to play. He came to play, dude.
I told you I like him.
I was like, Tom Brady.
The Chargers was going to win, and I didn't pick him, but for a second, I'm like, yo,
he was chunking that thing deep, son, and his playmakers were making the plays. I don't know what the secondary for the Bucs was doing, but literally they would just start jogging, and then like, oh shit, moment happened. There's a receiver behind me, and then tried to catch up. It was already too late.
There's nobody respecting Herbert right now, and he's like, cool, that's okay. You want to play like press off coverage and play it soft? I'm a bomb one over your freaking head.
He's playing like Josh Allen. I compare him to Josh Allen a lot, but he's obviously not there yet. But
yeah, I'll tell you one thing right now. I'm more excited about this kid than I am Joe Burrow, and I think they're both about on the same equal teams.
Yep, I agree with you, dude. And he's a beast. I just by
good,
watching him. Yeah.
Like, what was it? It was like what's that show? Hard Knocks or something like that. And I seen an episode.
Yeah.
And I seen Herbert doing like this like kind of like the net drill and then the trash can drill. And dude, when I say he threw like 7 or 8 balls and beamed every single one of them, I was like, okay, yeah, this dude might be all right.
Yeah, that's definitely some accuracy. One big thing that did happen is Austin Eckler went down with an injury. So you fantasy guys pick up Justin Jackson or that Joshua Kelly. I mentioned Joshua Kelly in like the first couple weeks, and he hasn't really been getting too many touches, but he's that rookie out of UCLA. He's a pretty solid big back, and then Justin Jackson will be a pretty good compliment. I don't know who they're going to give the lead back role to this week, but keep that in mind because Austin Eckler did go down. Tampa Bay-wise, Ronald Jones led that backfield. Leonard Fournette ended up, not playing.
He has to.
Yeah.
I said earlier, Ronald Jones has to. He rushed for 111 yards, man. He's got to be that. He's got to be that majority back.
And Mike Evans as the receiver for Tom Brady, he had over 100 yards too. He got in a little tussle. I'm surprised he didn't get ejected because he actually threw a punch. He was pissed off at one of those corners. I forgot who it was.
I seen it too. I can't remember who it was either.
But yeah, he needs to chill out for a second because that's only going to hurt the Bucs if he goes out of the game. And
yeah, well, Tom Brady also found him another little Julian Edelman, man, with Scott Miller.
Yeah.
Watch out. Scott Miller is smart. He plays the same way Julian Edelman plays. He had 5 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown. And week by week, he has progressed in his gameplay and on the number of reps. And when Tom Brady finds a guy that he absolutely likes, he's going to start getting some reps. So I think he's an extremely smart receiver, and then kind of just watch out for him, man.
Yeah,
he's going to be dangerous.
I'm going to say stay wary of those wideouts because if the Bucs do get that lead, Tom Brady's going to be one of those game managers that's going to slow down the game. He's going to run the football, and if they end up beating them, they're going to do whatever they can just to melt that clock. So wide receivers for that might be a little bit iffy for Tampa Bay unless they're in a shootout like they were this past week. So
yeah,
ended up winning that one.
He did throw for 5 touchdowns though, 369 yards.
Yep, versus a weak Chargers secondary and no Melvin Ingram.
I know. But he's got to have those games to be where people think he's going to be.
Yeah, true. So we're 3-2 going into the next game, which was the Ravens versus that one football team that don't really have a name.
The team.
Yeah. Ravens handle business. I mean, they just took it to them from the start. You know, they pissed off that they lost to the Chiefs last week versus a really good football team, and they put that behind them, took care of business at Washington. Not too much to talk about. I know Ron Rivera's over on the sidelines doing like chemo treatments, which is crazy at halftime or like between quarters. Hope he's doing well. You know, he's a heart of a warrior, especially if he's out there getting that stuff done throughout the game. And we end up 4-2.
That kills me to see that with him, though, dude. I really like him as a coach. Even if I didn't like him as a coach, I mean, I wouldn't want nobody to go through that. But yeah, that kind of kills me. They're going to start. I think they're going to start going through a lot and start hitting that wall over there in Washington.
Yeah, they're not good. That whole conference pretty weak right there. Giants, Eagles, the Washington football team, and the Cowgirls. You know, so. We'll see who can pull that one out. Washington can do it, dude. They might catch some fire late and then just end up running that conference, which would be crazy. But I don't see it happening.
Good. Yeah, they could. I don't know. Like you said, LJ, Lamar Jackson, he had a great game. Did throw an interception, but 53 yards rushing, 7 carries, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air. Not like you said, not much to really say about that. I mean, if the Ravens would have lost to Washington, I don't even know. I wouldn't even have picked anymore. So,
yeah. Well, I don't have too much to talk about that game. Chase Young was sitting out, so it really wasn't too exciting. Then we're gonna go to my team. Boy, we are 2-2. Everybody better watch the freak out because Carolina ain't playing no games no more, boys. They ain't playing no games.
Ryan.
I am. I'm going to. We're 2-0 in the last 2 weeks, son. That's all I care about. You know, Teddy looked pretty good. Mike Davis running hard. Bonifant running pretty hard as well. Cardinals, like I told you guys last time, we ended up beating them in Arizona. So them coming to Carolina, I was pretty confident in that pick. Even though the Cardinals have a lot of firepower, I just don't think you can turn around the last defense in the league around just like that, you know, with a couple draft picks and a couple key acquisitions. And we ended up showing that Robbie Anderson, man, he looked a total different person than he was for the Jets, how we're utilizing him. So that's real nice to see. Curtis Samuel, I think we need to get rid of him. DJ Moore coming up huge. You know, our O-line kept Teddy up, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, baby. Our defense. Yeah, and our defense, man, they're young, but they played so hard. And we were just shutting down their wideouts, dude. Making Kyler Murray run out the pocket and things like that. So, it was awesome.
Dude, y'all absolutely shut down the running game, too.
Yeah, it was awesome. Brian Burns had a huge game.
He had 35 yards. Kyle Murray beat him with 78 yards with only 6 carries. But, you know, he's going to do that when you flush him a few times. But if you're make them one-dimensional. Make them have to throw the ball or either flush Kyle Murray out to win the game. Don't give them a running game on top of it. So y'all shut that down. Then when they try to throw it, only thing he could do was take off. But the way that you're kind of playing that kind of deceived, kind of low-level umbrella type look, and y'all are keeping things in front of you and stuff like that, and just being extremely aggressive, it shut all 3 aspects down, dude. Carolina looked good.
Yeah, Tanner told me to calm down. The Panthers will still be best, 3rd in their own division. No, we're going to beat the Saints this year, boy. We're going to beat them. We're going to take care of business. Teddy's coming back home just to put it on them. He's going to put it on them, dude. The only person I'm really worried about is the Bucs because we already lost to them. And the Falcons can't play defense, so I'm not too worried about them. I'm happy. I'm happy making –
That's 2 big mountains to climb right there. I say y'all beat the Falcons for sure. But
Tanner, don't ruin my vibes over here, okay? I'm trying to be so positive. I'm high on a win right now. Let me ride that wave, baby. Let me ride that wave. But, that was a good game. I liked it. And that's another win for me. That was a loss for you. So I went 5-2 with the picks. You went 4-3, I think, at this point. And then we get to the Vikings-Texans game. Somebody had to win this one. They were both 0-3. Big news, Texans lost Bill O'Brien, and we were talking about him being a GM and a head coach and how it kind of was like too much on his plate and see how he could handle it. Nope. And Texans just bad anyways. You know, I can't believe he got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. And the Vikings ended up Dalvin Cook. How about calling him Dalvin Cook? Dalvin Cook.
Your discretion is advised.
he took off on him, and that was pretty good. We kind of assumed that, and Kirk Cousins didn't look too bad, but you know, when you have a good running game, it's hard to mess up as a quarterback. 16 for 22, he didn't do too much, but he didn't have to do too much. So Vikings took that one over, and that's another one I gained on you going into all these games. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, because I was pissed off. I'm not gonna pick the Vikings, and I think this one could have went either way, dude. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That defense over there for Houston's struggling. Will Fuller still finishes with over 100 yards receiving. You know, I feel bad for Deshaun Watson. You know, he's 20 for 33, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. He's trying to, man, but you took a lot of weapons away from him that put them and kept them and helped them win a lot of games last year. David Johnson, looking at right now, having 16 for 63 years out, averaging only 3.9.
Tell me this: is he the guy? Is he the guy? David Johnson. Is he as good as that 1 or 2 years he had in Arizona, David Johnson? Do you think that?
Nah, hell, for this year, yeah. But after this year, hell no, I'll be looking.
I
don't think he's like the long-term answer, no.
Tanner said I must have one too many Miller Lights. I don't drink beer. Come on now. I drink Angry Orchard. Get it right. Okay, I'm a cider guy. Yeah, I said that live. I don't care.
Yeah, you did, dude. You did. I'm over here with Milwaukee's best because I represent my Green Bay. Milwaukee, baby. I want my beer brewed from Milwaukee.
Well, the one thing I will say about David Johnson, I think he's a pretty good athlete, but behind that O-line, he's probably underperforming for sure. But, you got to break some of these tackles. I know they're getting back there. But
Justin Jefferson had over 100 yards receiving too, with Adam Thielen, who had 114 yards reception. So I expect that a little bit from Adam Thielen, but Justin Jefferson, okay.
Yeah, that rookie's showing up.
We already beat y'all, so I'm not really intimidated, but damn. Dalvin Cook 30 yards, yeah, dude. I didn't replay the episode. I was like, I don't know who to pick. Screw Vikings, go Texans. Yeah, a part of me wanted to pick the Vikings on that one too because I knew it was going to be the Dalvin Cook show, man. But
yeah, which is going to bring us to our next game. I got that one up again on you again. That's 2. And we both picked the Rams versus the Giants. Giants actually looked not too bad on defense this week, and they had a chance to win. They had a chance to win versus a decent Rams team, but the Rams played down to their competition, and you can't do that. You're supposed to be a top. Yeah, you're supposed to be a top 10 football team, and then you're playing to the Giants level. I mean, they don't even have an O-line. Aaron Donald, what the heck was you doing?
I don't know if they're arrogant or complacent or what it is, or if they just literally play. And there's teams out there that will literally you play a great team, they play amazing. You play a shitty team, they're going to play shitty. So I don't know really what identity that is for them for the Los Angeles Rams, but come on, dude. I mean, the way the Giants have been playing, they should have scraped them.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because the Giants are like turning a new leaf. Here we go. No, I think the Rams just played like doo-doo buns, to be honest.
Yeah. And Daniel Jones, he got sacked 5 times. They're just not protecting those guys, and Saquon got hurt because of it. They just need to figure it out O-line wise or grab somebody off the street. Like I'm sure my buddy Philly over there in Charlotte would come out of retirement just to go play football as a guard.
Yeah, Daniel Jones also was the leading rusher.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Him and the running back, Wayne Gallman, both had 6 carries for 45 yards.
That's bad, dude.
And Devontae Freeman's over there now. They just picked him up. That's right. He had 11 carries for 33 yards. Good pickup, New York.
Nobody can run when he can't block, bro. We've already established that.
I know. He's running into a wall. Down set hut, just run into that wall. Okay.
Game was a little bit closer to what we expected, but Rams ended up getting that win. We both picked the Rams. Not too many highlights for that one, so we're just going to go ahead and go to the Colts versus the Bears. Go ahead and take that one away.
Yeah, you already know. I ain't going to say nothing about that, but it's, bleep, bleep, the Bears. So I'm glad they lost. Phillip Rivers cracks me up. I like it. I like his crap talking. I think the way he does it is funny to me. And he went out there and handled business, and that Colts defense is pretty all right.
Right now, it's the number 1 defense in the league.
They're pretty all right. That's what I'm telling you, man. And
they lost to the Jaguars, bro.
But the Bengals gonna win when I don't pick them this week. Whatever. So, yeah, NFL football is crazy. But, yes, dude, the Colts are getting a little bit better. I still don't think they're like an amazing team, but I told you, not talking too much about it, the Chicago Bears was going to get knocked off their high horse, and it was about that time. And Nick Foles
looked like trash.
Sorry, bro. Welcome to where everyone dies as a quarterback. Welcome to Chicago. Like, he looked like trash. Yeah, he did, which made me feel a lot better too, because I thought he was going to sit back there and start piecing some stuff. He did not, and he didn't really look like he was having too much fun either.
No.
So, the Colts won that one. I got that one over on you, I think, because you picked the Bears. But
Yeah.
I am happy about that.
That one screwed me. So the one thing I will say about this is I put a bet in this weekend for my parlay of hitting all the B teams. Right? The Bills, the Bears, the Bucks, the Bengals or the Browns and the Bengals. I didn't put those ones obviously, but they're B's. I was like, I'm going in and I'm putting money on the B's this week. I have a feeling. And the damn freaking Bears are the one B team that loses. I'm so mad. But it is what it is. Bears look like trash.
Dude, that was some bullcrap, bro. I'd have been super happy, especially with the win tonight.
If they would have had some offense, that game would have been totally different. But they don't have an offense, so skip that one.
Well, you didn't know though, because you think Foles comes in and does what he's supposed to do, because he came in the damn fourth quarter of last week's game and turns the game around.
Yep.
Then he comes in this week and he's just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like. He looked crazy, like he had.
What's that dude's name on the longest yard? The guy that's the kicker.
Oh, dude, he's like, I knew I shouldn't hate that popcorn.
Yeah, that's what he looked like. Coach, put me in. Coach, I got this. And then he goes in and slaps him. But
I can't think of his name, dude. That was but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
All that, we're going to go ahead and go to the Bills versus the Raiders, which was an awesome game. Josh Allen balled out, one of my favorite guys to watch, and then they took care of business over there. Their defense was shutting them down. Derek Carr was without a couple of his receivers. They ended up putting up 23 points. Josh Jacobs ran pretty hard, but, the Bills are just a little bit too better of a team, in my opinion. That was a fun one to watch, though. Josh Jacobs actually didn't do too much. It was a Derek Carr show with 44 attempts. So They were just kind of trying to come back from a deficit they found themselves in.
Yeah, three things: Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and their defense at Buffalo. That's what won them the game, and the consistency of those three different aspects. I watched that one. It was really fun and things like that. But, and I can't sit here and talk down about Derek Carr or anything like that. He's doing what he's supposed to do, or what anybody else would want their quarterback to do on certain teams. 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, 32 for 44. Josh Jacobs, I think the running game changes it a little bit, but literally those three factors, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Bills defense, those three being as consistent as they was, is what won that game.
Yeah. And, there were some big highlights in there for Josh Allen, too. His receivers were just balling out for him. Josh Allen puts it somewhere. These guys go get it. Cole Beasley ended up getting, backflipped into the end zone on 1 touchdown, so that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
But Bills ended up winning. We both got that one right. Then we get to the last game of the evening. Upset City, son. We got the Eagles beating the 49ers on some – what the heck is that, dude? What the – Eagles? The Eagles are still a football team? I don't know about
that. Because what's his name? Mullins over there,
they benched him.
You can have the football. You can have our football. You can have our football. To everybody on that freaking Eagles defense, just giving it away. And then they're like, hey, we got this dude over here. What is it? Burt Hard? Whatever his name is. We either got him or the punter. Who do we put in, Coach? Let's put in Barthead, Hard, whatever his name is.
Beathard, I think.
He's sustainable enough, but they were just hitting a wall without Jimmy G that we hadn't seen yet. And we've really seen the difference of them. And I really don't think Jimmy G is like a great quarterback, to be honest with you. But I I mean, they about put the janitor out there to start handing the ball off. I mean, seriously, dude, it was insane. So, and that just pissed me off because I think about it as organization-wise and things like that. Carson Wentz still didn't look good with 193 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. It's not like he absolutely went insane. Sanders only had 46 yards rushing. Like, no, dude, that right there was like that game right there. Because I coach football, that right there looked like a Thursday night football game. Like JV, well, shit, what we do now? Put Landon in. All right, cool. Like just back and forth of just some nonsense. But it pissed me off because the Eagles won. I picked the 49ers. But yeah, that didn't really impress me on either side.
It was no good. They couldn't find a run game, and that O-line's pretty good. I know Eagles. I said at the beginning of the year that the Eagles would probably have the best defense in that division, and they actually shut down the 49ers. So, I mean, that's obviously without Raheem Mostert and Jimmy G. But Brandon
George was on that thing, though.
Yeah, he had 15 receptions for like 180-something yards. That's crazy. But that's the only guy that they had. Deebo Samuel came back off an injury. He only had 3 receptions.
That's what I want to kind of talk about the defense, too. When you got your third-string quarterback, everybody's out almost. You only got to really shut down George Kittle, and he still gets that kind of yardage. Like, did you do what you were supposed to do, or did we just throw it to George Kittle every time and then that wasn't enough to win the game? So.
Needless to say, the 49ers did have a chance to win at the end. They just couldn't put it together. 28 seconds left. They were just trying to move down the field. So they had a chance. Eagles pulled one out. That was just kind of a crappy game to watch last night. But
yeah, dude. Old boy didn't look too awful bad, though. When he ran in, I was like, oh, my God.
Brandon Ayuk? When he hurdled that guy?
Bet hard, bet head.
Oh, Bethard. I got
Old CJ, number 3. Yeah. But, yeah, he didn't look, like, awful. But, I mean, he couldn't have looked much more awful than what the other dude was doing. So, yeah, that was just a crazy game, bro.
Just one of the highlights I want to point out, too, on that game is the Brandon Ayuk kid from Arizona State. He's a rookie this year, coming in, high draft pick, and then he ends up hurdling somebody for a score in the first half. That was pretty awesome, dude. He got up there. I'm talking about over 6 foot for sure, jumping up. So that was cool. Other than that, there wasn't really too much going on in that game. Jeff Wilson screwed me in fantasy. I thought he was going to get some more totes, but he didn't. Jerick McKinnon apparently seemed to be that guy, so I don't know what Kyle Shanahan's going to do moving on. Yeah. But that's going to bring us to Monday Night Football, baby. Yep. It's Monday, but, hey, we still got football, baby, and that's what it's all about. Monday. And we got a doubleheader again because, the COVID reasons with Cam Newton. I think he's out for the Patriots-Chiefs. That's going to be the first game we talk about because it's coming on first. We've kind of already hit the highlights of Cam not being there. Jarrett Stidham coming in as quarterback and things. Sony Michel's actually sitting out, so I don't know who the running back is for the Patriots coming in. The Chiefs, obviously, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. Not too much to say. I think they're heavy favorites, especially now with Cam Newton sitting out. So that might be a blowout waiting to happen. Not really going to harp on it.
I don't think it'll be a blowout, though, but I think they comfortably win. I don't think they have to really want or try really hard for what they want to do during this game. I think schematic-wise that, the coaching staff over there for New England and stuff like that do the best that they can, but the Chiefs definitely, winning this game. We already talked about it last episode, but I mean, yeah, I don't really see it being a blowout like something astronomically crazy, but 14 or something like that I could definitely see.
Yeah. Well, that was the first one we get to watch, 2 hours at least of it, and then we're going to flip it to your game because you know what it is. Go ahead. Tell them who's going to win.
Man, I'm kind of like, to be honest with you, I've been thinking about it all day. I'm, Vince Lombardi up there. I kiss it every night before I go to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. But that is a picture of Vince Lombardi. It's not my grandpa, but I wish it was. Just kidding. So,
not kidding.
I'm not kidding. Yeah, that would be dope. Anyway, Green Bay Packers were without our starting linebacker. We're without Devontae Adams. We're without Lazard. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit, to the point where it kind of don't on the other hand, though, because I've literally seen and I'm a huge Green Bay fan, not for years. And I've sit there and watched Aaron Rodgers throw to receivers that I had no idea who they were because they were like fourth or fifth on the depth chart, or fifth or sixth on the depth chart, and actually win games and stuff like that, like Lazard did kind of last year for him and things like that. The Falcons have just literally been on the crap end side of things. I hope that continues. Tonight, they do have Jones and Ridley coming back 100% extremely healthy. But I'm not really worried about our defense too much, especially I think Clark, our defensive tackle, is questionable. If, he plays and the only thing that we're missing, I'm not really worried about our defensive backfield because we've reached out over the past few years and had a bunch of good picks for our secondary, and then Amos coming over from Chicago. So I'm not worried about that. Not worried about our front four, especially if Clark play or, trying to get pressure on Matt Ryan. The linebacker play, I am kind of worried a little bit about. Ty Summers is a guy that can go in there and from TCU and have a good solid game and things like that. But he did, when he played the Saints, miss a lot of tackles on Alvin Kamara. But it is Alvin Kamara. But I think, right now Aaron Rodgers is firing on all cylinders right now. He's got something to prove. It's an 0-3 Falcons team. They have to get a win in. I think they're going to be tough to try to play because I think they're going to throw everything they absolutely can. They have nothing to lose. I hate playing teams and, in the NFL level, on the high school level, hell, whatever it is, that has nothing to lose and will throw everything out that they have to do, especially when you're losing a few key players like we are doing tonight. But that run game that we can establish and things like that, Aaron Jones has to have a phenomenal game, which I see him doing. But the Falcons secondary doesn't really scare me either. It's almost like a JV team's secondary. So I think with what Aaron Rodgers has, even though it's low and limited right now, that they can get that thing done tonight. Hopefully. So I'm definitely going to Green Bay. So
Yeah.
look, bro, I even got the sock, baby. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've been ready.
I agree with you. I do think Green Bay is going to win. I'm not going to differ on you just because I want to, but it is the NFC South. And, crazy things happen when you play these kind of teams like the Falcons. And they're 0-3. They need a win. They're hungry for it. Matt Ryan is not a bad quarterback. Your defense is pretty solid, but I think your weakest link will be your linebacking core. I love that. Number 56, I forgot what his name is.
Kirksey or something like that. He came from Cleveland. We got him
Not
from Cleveland.
Kirksey, the guy with dreads. That always blitzes A gap.
Oh, 50. You talking about our defensive end, 55, Smith?
Okay, it is. He's a DN?
Yeah.
I didn't know
He's like an outside linebacker, but he's got his hand in the dirt a lot of time. We're really either playing with Kirksey or Burt's at our middle linebacker position with a little bit of Ty Summers. But you got the Smith brothers on each side, and the one with dreads is number 55, yeah.
Yeah, well, Atlanta likes to do a lot of play action, bootlegs, things coming over the middle. I think he's going to take advantage of that when he can. But I do think Aaron Rodgers will literally put whatever pressure he has on him and put it all out tonight, even with third and fourth string receivers. Packers are just pretty good, and it's in Lambeau, not in the Dome. So Matt Ryan doesn't really play too well outside that. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm Packers. So
what's really good for we're averaging like 38 points per game offensively with no turnovers yet. Which
wow, you better knock on some wood, boy.
Well, yeah, no, I got some right here, but it's like an offensive juggernaut type deal and things like that. But what also is really helping Aaron Rodgers right now is not a lot of fans in the crowd.
Yeah,
he can literally. His hard count is absolutely insane anyway, and now he doesn't have anything blocking it out. Like that's one of the things he said when they played the Saints in the Superdome. He's played in the Superdome multiple times. He said, but his hard count was on point because there wasn't any fans. So, and he's really good on that, on getting free plays and stuff like that. So, watch. That's one thing that would help a certain team this year. I think for COVID is the Green Bay Packers, just because of Aaron Rodgers and his hard count. It's crazy, man.
Well, it's going to be high scoring, hopefully not a blowout, so we can actually watch some good football tonight. But I want to go ahead and turn it over to kind of I want to turn it over to we're going to review what we had at the beginning of the season with some NFL questions. Okay, the first one was, Will Tom Brady or Drew Brees have the TD crown? Right now, Tom Brady is up 3 touchdowns.
Picked it.
And
Yep.
you picked him. I picked Breeze. Patriots win the division. Right now, it's looking like the Bills, but the Patriots are close behind. Which one of these 4 running backs will have most rushing yards? Elliott, Jacobs, Jones, and Henry. And right now, it is Derrick Henry out of those 4. The leader is Dalvin Cook with 424 yards. Then you got Nick Chubb, who's hurt. And then Derrick Henry's at 319, which I think you picked Henry and I picked Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. I can't remember who I picked. Who's one? Who'd you say is winning that?
Right now, it's Dalvin Cook. He's the top, but
Okay.
out of these 4 running backs,
So,
out of these 4 running backs, which one would lead it? Right now, it is Derrick Henry. So I think I picked him, or you picked him. I picked Josh Jacobs. That's what I said.
So you said Dalvin Cook's winning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, who holds the most fantasy points. Right now, I think it's pretty close, but Patrick Mahomes is up there. I didn't really check the stats for that.
Yeah, I don't know, especially after this last game. Well, let's see after this week.
Yeah.
See what he does against the Patriots, because I know Lamar Jackson went crazy against the Washington team.
They still got to play CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy, who has a better rookie year. Right now, CeeDee Lamb, they were real neck and neck until this last week. Jerry Jeudy caught his first touchdown pass. CeeDee Lamb caught his first touchdown pass, but CeeDee Lamb actually killed it with 2 touchdowns and a couple more receptions than Jerry Jeudy. So that's looking like pretty promising for Dallas and that pick. As I go right now to week 3, because I skipped week 3. We didn't do week 2 questions. Which injury will have the most impact? Drew Lock, McCaffrey, Barkley, Sutton, or Campbell for the Colts? Right now, it's looking like the Broncos, dude, because they got talent around them.
I said for that one.
They got talent around him, but he's not putting it out. McCaffrey, obviously, we're winning even without him.
I said McCaffrey. Okay, yeah.
But
I agree with you on that as of right now. Yeah, because y'all are winning right now, even without McCaffrey.
Yep. Okay, and then what's the Vikings' main problem? Right now, it looks like it's not really Kirk, or kind of was Kirk Cousins, but then they established a running game, so it definitely wasn't the OL.
Nope.
Their defense finally showed up. So I think DBs and the Kirk Cousins, that might be the 2 best answers.
Yeah, I put defensive backs for that one.
Who most likely took their first loss? Out of these ones, it was the Rams. The Bills ended up winning against the Rams. Titans didn't play the Steelers. And then the Cardinals ended up winning that week. Who will be the worst team in the NFL right now? Still looking like the Jets and Giants. Battle in New York. The highest fantasy producer week 3 quarterback-wise. Week 3, I'm pretty sure it was Josh Allen. Josh Allen had 5 touchdowns versus the Rams.
Compared to who?
Ryan Tannehill versus the Vikings,
No.
which that wasn't that great. Matt Ryan versus the Bears, which he got shut down. Deshaun Watson got shut down, and Kyler Murray actually lost versus the Lions. So Josh Allen was that
It was Josh Allen, yeah.
producer. And then Seahawks versus Cowboys. Seahawks ended up handling business. Whoops, I closed it out. Next one, we had week 4 questions, which was the most recent questions. We asked if who would get their first win. And actually 3 or more teams got their first win. The Eagles, the Vikings, the Bengals, and the Broncos. 4 teams ended up getting their first dub of the season, so that was pretty cool to see. Nick Foles, the answer in Chicago. Not after this week.
Nope.
Mitch Trubisky, whoever voted that one, Mitch Trubisky will take the job back. He's looking pretty solid.
Do you think they still give it? Do you think they really still give it back to him though?
Shoot, I don't know what they're doing in Chicago, bro. I really don't. Matt Nagy's an idiot. I don't like his offense. I liked it one year, but then it's just too much.
Makes me happy.
He's trying to do a little bit of Sean McVay, but he's also trying to, like, quick screens. I don't even know what kind, like, it's not air raid. It's not a true air raid, but it's like behind the line of scrimmage. You're throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage so much. And you're not gaining any yards. You're not taking any chances. You got to put pressure on the defense, in my opinion. Bust the top off the coverage a couple times. Who get their first loss? The Bears ended up getting their first loss. Steelers, Titans didn't play. Seahawks got a win. Chiefs play tonight. Bills, they won. Packers, or 3 or more will suffer. Only one so far has suffered their first loss. So That one's that. The Browns take care of the Cowgirls. This is what I wanted to go over because 83 or 85% said no, the Browns will not take care of the Cowgirls, and they did it. They did it with some trickery. Those guys came to play.
I said they wouldn't, so I missed that one hard.
Yep. I said no because I can never bet the Browns, but they did it, boys. They did it. You 15% that said Browns, hats off to you. Great job of picking that one.
Good.
Yeah. Worst division in football, I still think it's the NFC East, the football
It
team.
is, dude. The freaking Eagles just took first place, and they just got their first win.
Yep. How crazy
Their
is
first
that?
place in the division. Hell yeah, it's a shitty division. That's crazy.
All right. And then I said, which rookie does better in fantasy this week? Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, any other rookie. Justin Herbert was better than Joe Burrow, and then CeeDee Lamb actually, I think, had a top amount of points. But as a quarterback, I think they get a little bit more. And then you got Clyde playing tonight. So whoever picked those guys. I just wanted to kind of review that because that's what we've been talking about for all you viewers. Tanner did pick the Browns. Good job, Tanner. Nice. And if Jeudy had a quarterback throwing him for over 500 garbage yards, he had better stats. True. They always came from behind. I didn't even see these comments because I was reading those questions, Tanner. But, yeah, Brian gone. I do the sleeper app, so I'm getting notifications like basically as soon as they happen. And then he said he has zero faith in Dak in the defense. I'm more towards that defense. I don't like that Cowboys defense. I think Dak, you can't just throw for 500. I know it's garbage time, but 500 yards, bro? Like during the season, you get like 4,000 to 5,000, as a good quarterback. He's already got freaking a fifth of it.
I'll take you. And I'm not a Dak Prescott fan. Before the season, I'll actually tell you this. I was like, don't pay the man. Just start Andy Dalton. He'll win you some games, because Andy Dalton ain't too bad in my brain. But dude's putting numbers up, man. And that's one thing you can print out and say, look what I did. You better pay me. Because he's putting the numbers up, man. And especially around the league. He's doing his thing.
One thing I will tell you guys, I know Clark. Clark says, watch out, Cheetah. Cheese is creeping up on our scoreboard. He actually lost one this week to me, but yeah, you're right. Week 3,
that first week I was just like, all these trades, let's just shoot for the stars.
And then I let you come back on week 3. But one thing I wanted to point out is the sack leader. I don't know if you know who it is. Just off the top of your, don't even look at it, you bum. Who's the sack leader? Do you know?
Sack leader of the league?
In the league right now, who's the sack leader?
TJ Watt?
Nope. It is Myles Garrett for the Cleveland Brownies, baby, with 5 total sacks. Right behind him is Alden Smith from Dallas. But he probably got a couple of sacks playing that BS game that they played at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I tell you right now, but I don't care what they say. TJ Watt playing better ball than both those cats.
Yep. I love TJ Watt, dude.
TJ Watt's freaking balling right now.
Mm-hmm. But with all that being said, yeah, TJ Watt, dude. TJ Watt's the realest deal in Pittsburgh. He plays outside linebacker, he plays D-line. He might even play down safety. I don't know. But,
he's a realest as Mac Miller.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for our episode of Cheetah and the Cheese, guys. We appreciate you tuning in. Please like, share, and comment in the chat. I try to get back to you guys even after this video is played, and then you end up watching it after the fact. I try to get back and see what you commented and when you commented and stuff like that. I think it's real fun. So make sure you share this. If you could, like me on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube. That's where all the good stuff is actually going to happen eventually. Facebook, I don't know too much about the streaming aspect, but YouTube, that's that when the ads come in and everything like that. And I know you don't want to have ads, you want to have ad lists, but they actually help me. So like, share, subscribe. Cheetah and the Cheese. What up?
Yeah. Green Bay dub tonight.
Y'all stay safe. We'll see you next time.